So it's actually my first time speaking in South Africa, so it's nice to meet everybody. So the playbook is 0 to 10. Now, I love this thing, and people always wonder, it's like, why are you sharing our playbook to everybody else? I'm like, the playbook isn't really the thing that makes things work. It's actually how you execute the playbook that makes things work. So I kind of just like show it. So I've shown this to Singapore, I've shown this to Hong Kong, and I'm like, it's fine because most people will have these playbooks anyway. Most organizations will have something very similar, but what I'll do is I'll come from a place of what I learned. A bit about myself. I am now the Chief Marketing Officer of Tyme Bank. I've been in this country, beautiful by the way, 5 months now. I am bracing for the winter. I felt it last week. It was horrendous. I was depressed. But so far so good. I'm also the global marketing lead of the group. If you guys don't know, Tyme Bank was born in South Africa, but has now operations in the Philippines, has now operations in Hong Kong, in Indonesia, in Vietnam, and all other countries. So I would say, I'm very proud to say that I'm back into HQ, and it's from South Africa to the world. Now, coming from that, I'm also coming from a different fintech, another challenger brand. It's called Paymaya. It's an e-wallet, now has around 40 million users, so it's not a small company anymore. And that's where my experience actually in Southeast Asia stems from. Now, before that, I was in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, doing Yahoo, Gap, e-commerce, the likes. But there's one thing I am proud of. I do have 2 beautiful cats that I was able to bring to South Africa. And their tickets are more expensive than first class. It's true. It's true. My wife is there. She would attest to that. But yeah, I do report to them. Apparently, they are the best, at calling people to say, give me food and all of that. But anyway, so that's a bit about myself. Okay, Paymaya was my first, 0 to 10. I was a business head, marketing head, and I was able to grow it from 0 to 10. Now, a bit of background. When I was doing this, that was a time in Southeast Asia where we had what we call the growth at all cost. That was a time where Alipay and WeChat, do you guys know any of these brands? Yeah. Yeah, we're just like blasting money all over Southeast Asia, dropping, billion rand marketing budgets on kind of like each other, trying to grow at all costs. I was lucky enough to be part of it. So Paymaya was actually aligned to WeChat. Alipay was aligned to our competitor. And we just used every strategy in the playbook that you could possibly imagine. And I will say to you that I lost. I lost the war. We came in second. They now have, I think, 70 million users. We're at 40, or at least that old company now has 40. That logo is the exact logo when we were scribbling it behind the placemat, drawing what our logo should look like. That's the exact photo. I didn't do that. It was my designer that did that, but just wanted to show you guys of how things are born. Now, Go Tyme Bank. That is the name of the brand of Tyme Bank in the Philippines. Go Tyme Bank hit 5 million users in just 24 months. What took me 36 months in Paymaya and 5 times the budget, I was able to pull off at 1/5 the budget in less time. And I had to follow a playbook of all of the mistakes that I did to get there. Number 1, this is possibly the most common thing that you would see in challenger brands. Having a solid starting point is required. Love this line. Did not learn this from GoTyme, did not learn this from Tyme, but this is so common. Successful, established companies are prisoners of their own success. The innovator's dilemma. Now, how that translates is I come from industries where we were born inside corporates. So I wasn't a small startup that I was able to grow up. We were corporate, like big-ass corporations, 20 companies together, 50 companies together. That's Southeast Asia for you guys, by the way. It's like, string of companies. Now, they had to do what they would call a real digital transformation. And I was like, yes, that's another buzzword from 5 years ago. They actively went and created a new company that the corporate HQ was not allowed control over. That was one of the hardest things that we had to create. And the first thing we had to learn is we needed to hire a lot of people. Now, as we hired a lot of people, there was this thing called, yeah, I'm used to doing it this way. I'm used to actually reacting this way. I'm used to actually moving this way. So we had this first thing, and this comes from Tyme, and I learned it from our founder there. He was like, 100 days to launch. Everything is just 100 days. Now, you're like, okay, I've heard that before, but actually think about it. You don't have a choice that the idea that I'm greenlighting right now, you have 100 days to get it out to the market. And what people realize that once you put that 100 days, it's long enough that you have enough time to plan and execute, but it's short enough that you stop thinking about everything else. And I think this religious thing about doing 100 days to launch, 100 days to launch, became cultural. It's called, I guess, very action-oriented or action-forward. Now, one of the things that I've seen in corporates, and I've worked in corporate before, is the analysis paralysis. There's so much mental thinking over 5,000 people that we need to send an SMS to. It's like, holy shit, I've never seen that before. Where we have a data scientist, a growth marketer, a creative, debating for 2 hours so that we can send 5,000 people an SMS blast. Have you guys seen that before? Okay, I see half of the people agree. Yeah. So doing this just suddenly breaks all of that. Because those things, although they do matter, they don't matter as much. Okay. This is the result of 100 days to launch. My previous company, Voyager, ended up with, 15, 16 companies. Also not healthy. Out of all of those 16, only one made it out. And this is now a double unicorn. I think it's valued at $3 billion. And just wanted to show you that this can result to this. Now, innovator's dilemma is one thing, but actually methodical in being able to get out of it is also another thing. So I wanted to point out that this is actually needed because you needed people to break out of the shell so that you can build something like this. Okay, now tip number 2, focus on real growth, not on vanity numbers. They do matter though, they do. And I'll do the best example, and this comes from my old company as well. This is one of the brands that we launched. We forced 1 million users because A, we got us the funding, B, got us the confidence, and C, we got us the learning. Vanity numbers do matter because at the end of the day, people don't want to believe in people that don't know how to execute. But the biggest learning and the biggest slap on my face is that I'm a performance marketer. I was born in performance marketing. I'm a science-based marketer. I'm a digital marketer at heart. And this was my first big mistake. I focused purely on the numbers. What you'll see now is my first big mistake. The moment I stopped marketing, my numbers decreased to that. That hurts. Because as a marketer, you're kind of like, shit, did I fail? Now, one of the things I learned is that marketing no longer is about getting you the numbers. Marketing is about actually being able to build a proper business, build proper users. Now, real growth, tip number 3, which is the bulk of my presentation, it's methodical. Now, this is the playbook. That's the start of the playbook. So number 1, the go-to-market approach is actually very different for each stage. If there's one thing that everyone should pick up, it's actually this. People don't realize that the objectives change as you grow. For the longest time, you're structured the same way, you think the same way, but in reality, as you move into these user bases from 0 to 10,000 users, 10 to 20, 10 to 1 million, 1 million to 2.5, 2.5 to 10, the strategies the things that you prioritize, the objectives change. Structurally, you should be changing too. Now, there comes a time that, as me, as kind of like a people leader, I end up kind of like bringing people along into the journey. There's one of the things that kind of pains me to say. Not everybody from the 0 to 10 or the 10 to 1 million are actually the same people that you're working with from 2.5 to 10. There are people that are called Bob the Builders. They're really good at building something from scratch. And then there's another group, which I call Sam the Scalers, where they're really good at taking it from here and scaling it. Now, I want you guys to really find out where you live between the two, because it's an important distinction. I'm actually much, much better at starting. Scaling, I do hire really, really good people that have built systemic, great infrastructure to actually scale things. So, let's go into the playbook. Before I start, everybody still okay? I know I've been talking and I'm trying to be quite quick on this. Okay. Woo. It's a good way to keep people engaged. Just shock them with the color. 0 to 10, launch with a blank identity. As a brand marketer, can you just imagine me saying that? Launch with nothing. What? That is crazy. We started with a blank identity because one of the deepest things I learned is that the brand that you build may not necessarily be the brand that you will become. So most of the time, people, before they launch something, they end up with, we're going to do a brand vision, a brand DNA, a brand, it's like all of these things. And then they come out and it's like, it's completely something else. So we ended up just skipping the whole thing, just launch the whole thing and launch with a blank identity. This is my favorite line. Did not come from me, but I kind of claim that it looked like it came from me, but it's not. This is the most religious thing that we do. You focus on 100 people that love you versus people that kind of like you. Now, for the longest time, the pressure to just launch it is there. Product people, tech people, app people say, you know what, just launch it. Let's see what happens. That was my first big mistake. I wasn't strong enough as a leader when I was younger to say, that is not ready to launch. We need more. We need this. And now that's kind of like being able to say that now with more confidence allows me to be more proud of this one. Do not start marketing until you have 100 people that love you. Now take note, it's not 1,000 people that use you. There's a difference between the two. They need to really, really love you, because the number one driver of apps is not digital marketing. It's actually word of mouth. You will not have growth if you don't have people that love you. Now, the other thing, as a digital marketer, it pains me to say that physical plus digital actually works. Ooh, I came from e-commerce where our big mantra was like, physical will disappear, it's all gonna be digital. Not true, 100% not true. First one to say it, big mistake. I was so proud of being a digital first marketer that I hate saying this now, but I 100% agree that it's not true. Physical matters. And I think one of the best success is that we were able to grow at 1/5 the cost of Tyme was because we had a physical kiosk. The same exact kiosk that we had with Tyme Bank here. It allows people to actually touch you, see you, trust you. Trust is built not on the digital space. Trust is built on the physical space. And that's why this physical marketing is super critical. Now, Nice, right? Woo. We did that with one motion graphics, one copywriter, and that became our brand story. When I told you guys that launch with a brand with a blank identity, nothing about here talks about what we believe in, what are, it's purely the propositions. And it's okay. I think that's one of the things is that sometimes marketers overdo the art. I will show you the place for the art, but sometimes when you're just launching, where you're just trying to identify, lead off with a proposition. What you're looking for is there value in your product? Now, the second thing is this. Now, the tip here is that actually creating clothes for the people that love you is the number one investment that you should be doing. That's why I wear this all the time. We spent more time designing, sorry guys. Designing stuff like this to help out making sure that people wear stuff that they're proud of. Now, if you're launching a brand from 0 to 10, you guys can't imagine how much this is. Now, don't design stuff so you can give away. That's the number one tip. I'll give you guys this for free. Design stuff that you would wear it in the promenade on Saturday and Sunday. Don't design stuff, don't create stuff that you're only going to wear in events like this or you're going to give away. Design stuff, create stuff that you're willing and proud to wear on the promenade on Saturday and Sunday. And that's why we over-design stuff like this. Now, why is that helpful? Because the next step I would give you from 0 to 10 is going to be this. You need to create and cultivate a community of defenders. Ooh, social media is toxic, eh? And I think having that group of defenders that really love you, that starts from the 100 that love you, and you cultivate a culture of a community of defenders, really allows your brand to shine. Now, if you notice that the bulk of my tactics is not about spending and spending. It's really about focusing on getting people to love you. Here's a playbook. From 0 to 10, you're only doing 5 things. 5 things. Number 1, make your team fall in love with your brand. Number 2, introduce the leaders and associate them with trusted brand entities. Introduce the brand with customer value proposition as the lead, not the brand as the lead. Can you just imagine me saying that as a marketer in front of all of you guys? Customer value proposition as the lead, not brand as the lead. Oh, blasphemous. Number 4, win awards. Why? Because you need to be introduced with more equity. As you notice, fall in love, build equity. Fall in love, build equity. And then number 5, this is something that's actually quite Filipino. It's like build a Facebook community or any community that would defend you guys to death. That's the playbook from 0 to 10. Okay. Now, from 10 to 1 million, the tactics change because now you're starting to build engines. This is the playbook. I'm just showing it to you guys right now. This is exactly what we did. Crawl, walk, run. From 10 to 1 million, you need to make sure that your features are completed, amplification engine, growth marketing engine, awareness engine, and I'm highlighting brand one-liners. I'll show you what that looks like. I think this is a very important piece because something has to be said about digital products. They're not as easily understood because, you know why shampoos are easy to market? Because everybody knows how to use shampoo. That's why they went straight to Dove, right? It goes straight into brand because everybody knows how to use soap. For a digital product, you need to tell them how to do these things. You need to explain what the value proposition is. You're actually breaking a little bit of the mold. And I think that's an important distinction. Now, position how we're different, I'll talk about it, and then scale to the top. Okay, brand one-liners. Brand one-liners are really viral product one-liners. What does that mean? You need to have 2 strategies when you do a brand strategy. Number one is what the brand says. And then number two is what you tell your mom. The video didn't render nicely, but I'll skip to the other one. But what this says is that when we say brand, when brand goes nice card, nice rewards, we actually force the viral product one-liner in every one of our staff, in every part of our community. This is what brand says. This is what everybody else says. This is the reputation that we're building. It's the best debit card in the Philippines because it has rewards. Most debit cards do not have rewards. It's even better rewards than some credit cards, and it's free withdrawal. Quite simply saying that we just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it on word of mouth. I think that's the biggest distinction. I'll do another example.
Savings? Don't complicate it. Simplify it with GoTyme Bank. 5% PA savings interest rate. No missions, no limits. It's simply 5.
Go save, go save, GoTyme, GoTyme. Go save, go save, GoTyme, GoTyme. Go save, GoTyme, GoTyme.
Simplify your savings with GoTyme Bank.
That was our first brand ad. Proposition-led. It was purely, first one, you could just hear us chanting because we needed our brand out there, right? We were small brand, unknown brand, so we had to keep repeating the brand so that it sticks to your head. But it was very proposition-led. That's what brand said, simply 5. You know what we were doing on ground? We were saying this, it's the best savings rate. Now you guys are probably laughing, oh my God, 5%, that's so low, right? In South Africa. But our normal savings rate for a traditional bank in the Philippines is 0.07%. That's insane, right? Now, if you notice that how we speak on word of mouth is actually trained. That's something I want you guys to pick up here. You have to train the word of mouth strategy. It's actually the most important thing. No matter what brand says, there's another part of you that's creating this on-ground one-liner. The more visceral it is, the more easier it is to say, the better it will work. We actually say best savings rate, period. And then the visceral part is that it's 80 times better than your traditional bank. Because it's 80 times. So, here is the top 5 of the next go-to-market, right? Here's the next playbook I'm showing you guys. Number 1, you need your basic features completed. That's basic, right? What we call core features, all of these things. And you have to be strict between nice to have and core. What product are you serving? There's sometimes you kind of like, oh, I want this because the other banks have this or the other products have this. It's like, no. What problem are you trying to solve? Focus on that. There's actually a few features that is core. If you just are better than that, then go for it. Number 2, the growth engines. I'm not going to talk about it as much. It's another talk, but definitely the digital part of me still wants to come out. And then, yes, the growth engines do come out. What are those? Basically, if you sign up for an email, if you sign up for e-commerce, you forget something in your cart, email pops up an hour after. All of those strategies is what I call the core growth engines or core growth journeys. All of them have to be set up by then as well. So during this time, during this 10,000 all the way up to 1 million, you're building all of these core engines. Now, I'm not saying that these are not important. I'm saying these are all of the basics that you need completed by the time you move on to the next stage. Amplification engine. This is something that's new. This comes from word of mouth strategy. You need your staff to share everything that you guys do honest reviews, influencers, bank ambassadors, everything that you guys need to actually get that word of mouth infrastructure in place. Number 4, the one-liners. Yes, the line has always said, yes, it is this and this and this, but how do you explain it to your friend? So always have a brand strategy. Always have a core strategy that talks about, how do I explain it to you? The perfect description is when people ask me, how do you translate it to South Africa? So I'm going to do something a little bit cultural. It's like, when you're on a braai, how do you explain it to somebody else? And that became my example. If we have that perfect formula that I can explain it over a braai on a Sunday watching rugby, did I get that right? I got that right. Yeah. Then that means you have it. And then number 5, the awareness engine, you need studios. You need merchandise spots. You need creative teams already in place. That's what you're doing from 10,000 to 1 million. Next step. 1 million to 2.5. Why do I put it in these formats? It's actually very easy to get to 1 million users. Yes, I know it needs a little bit of funding, it needs belief systems, but once you get that momentum from people that love you, it actually just needs a little bit of a push, you'll get to 1 million. Maintaining 1 million and maintaining after 1 million, that's the hard part, because now you're moving into real marketing territories. Position to scale, position to scale, position to scale. Now, notice that I didn't put scaling yet. Scaling is a completely different formula than positioning your brand to scale. What I'll show you, same exact playbook, I'm highlighting 3 things. Position how you're different, highlight what you're already good at, and then focus on brand visibility on ground. Now, what's the difference between highlight what you're really good at and brand one-liners? Highlight what you're good at is what your customers will tell you you're good at. And you need to be listening. Bulk of every marketing thing that we did, like the nice card, nice rewards, the Simply 5 and all of those things, weren't done by agency. They were done in-house because we listened to the comments and we just picked it up and then turned it into a campaign. Obviously, we used agency to make it prettier and make it sound better, but that insighting, they're gonna give it to you anyway. Highlighting what you're good at now becomes the best storytelling. Brand visibility legitimizes things on the ground. I think I already told you guys that, but this is how we're positioned in the Philippines. I'll show you a video.
Hello, assistance needed, please come over.
We're in and out, to and fro, and anyhow, did you know just how long I've waited? Don't you be a stranger. People come, people go.
What assistance do you need? I don't understand you. Search failed. Try again. Try another search.
All alone, all I really wanted, all my little life is to be near you.
Hello there. It's Jen from Tyme Bank.
Hello?
Can I have your name?
My name? It's Roboto.
Roboto. Like the movie? That's nice. I love it.
And one day I got it. What a happy thought that you'll be near.
Hello there, it's go time.
Thank you. We're really proud of that. That whole video was actually a love letter to our customer service team and our bank ambassadors. If you notice that the number 1 proposition that we led with was actually that our humans were easy to interact with. And that became the calling card of Tyme Bank in the Philippines. That's how we won the hearts. Now, let's talk about the vid. No, just kidding. Now, how do you measure? I love this. Now, as you grow, you kind of have like all these very complex analytical measurements, and that's true, they're quite important. But there comes a time that you're kind of like, okay, let's simplify things. How do you know if you're really winning? How do you know if you're really making an impact? We now have a KPI in our organization called when your mom starts talking about it. This is by far the truest thing of how you check if you're scaling properly from 2.5 to 10 million. Is that when your mom actually starts talking to you, say, hey, what is that product that you were talking about? And take note, it took my mom a year and a half. This is not my mom, by the way. So I just wanted to point that out. I know we all, it took her a year before she started using my product. And it wasn't until one of her friends told her about it. Again, it's like, I cannot convince my mom. I'm a zero influencer. Until her friends were talking about it, that's when she picked it up. Now getting there, you kind of feel better. It's like, okay, now we're scaling. Now, the big one. This is my biggest learning, scaling from 2.5 to 10. It's not going to be a lot of strategies. It's just going to be one thing. There's a big trend in marketing that everything is AI, everything is scientific. Is that true, guys? Yes? Everything has to be KPI driven, and it's true. I'm a big believer of it. But this is how I used to do marketing. It was 90% digital, 10% brand marketing. The younger version of myself was so proud of digital marketing and the KPI driven and all of the numbers that comes out and the instant return that I lost the war. I lost to Gcash because I did this. I failed on one of the basic tenets. And my wife here is the best brand marketer I know, was able to mentor me and say, you know what, right size that thing. So to the people here, word of mouth matters. And the best way to do word of mouth, once your brand has been established, once the basics have been done, once the community of defenders have been established, once your proposition has been established, you now earn the right to do brand marketing. Take note how it's flipped. You have to earn the right to do brand marketing. And that's it. Thank you so much for the time.